Oh, pastinya besok akan menjadi pertandingan yang sangat sulit bagi kami, termasuk coach dan para pemain. Tetapi ingin menjadikan pertandingan ini ya pertandingan yang tidak disesali setelah selesai. Kalau kita memang melakukan seperti itu, hasil pertandingan tidak ada yang tahu pastinya. Yaitulah plan pertandingan dari coach.
Obviously, tomorrow's match will be very difficult and tough match. However, all the players, including me, we agreed to have a match without any regret. So nobody can expect or anticipate, tomorrow's match result.
Hello? Yes. Of course, I agree with the coach. Of course, we know Japan is a really good opponent and probably they're the number one in Asia right now. But that doesn't mean we have no chance. Of course, we always have a chance, and like I said before, we believe in our cause and we believe in our team and in our capabilities. So for us, it's just important that we give everything tomorrow on the field, and of course in the atmosphere in GBK and in the stadium. We know anything can happen, so we really need your support, and we're gonna do our best tomorrow.
Any question? Please mention your name and organization.
Ciao, I'm Diego from CNN Indonesia. Can you describe how the atmosphere in the back room between players coming to the match tomorrow? And secondly, you've played 2 seasons already in Italy, one of the major footballing nation. What kind of things you learned from Italy? Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. Yeah, the feeling right now in the group is, I think, quite good, even though the last 2 games were not the results we wanted against China and Bahrain. But I think either way, the feeling in the group is always good. We have a really good team with a mix of local players and players from abroad. And I think it's a really good mix. And if you could see day-to-day basis in the training and around the trainings, our chemistry in the team is really good. So I think you can also see it on the field when we play together. You really see everybody's fighting for each other and trying to help each other in every way possible. So I think that's really good. And your second question about Italy, yeah, of course it's really different because before I only played in Holland, and it's also really different football compared to Italy, and now also Italy compared to Indonesia and Asia football. But if I have to say what I've learned is especially the mentality, of course, in Italy, because Italy is known for having really good defenders, and I really learned, and you can really see that sometimes in the game, during the game, you have to make certain decisions of not playing too risky, not just trying to do anything in any way possible to not concede any goals. And I think I'm trying to what's the right word, to help everybody understand also that it's really important to work together as a back line, but not only as a back line but as a whole team, because the defending starts up front and the attack starts behind, so you really have to do it together. So that's one of the main things I'm trying to improve in the team as well.
Okay, on the left side.
Hello, my name is Arpan Rahman. I'm from globalvoice.org, Amsterdam. Japan bring unregistered assistant coach. His name Makoto Hasebe. He appeared inside the field, official training, couple minutes ago. Do you want to complain to match official about unregistered coach assistant Makoto Hasebe? Thank you.
Nanyanya ke siapa, Pak?
Could you please repeat that?
Jepang membawa asisten pelatih yang tidak terdaftar sebagai staf kepelatihan mereka, namanya Makoto Hasebe, tapi dia menemani pemain di dalam lapangan. Apakah Anda ingin mengkomplain masalah ini kepada match official FIFA karena melanggar regulasi latihan resmi di Asia Qualifier ini? Terima kasih.
등록되지 않은 코치가 왔는데 모르는 상황이라서 뭐라고 얘기할 수 있는 부분이 아닌 것 같다.
Jujur nggak tahu situasi seperti ini, jadi bingung mau jawab apa.
Because I have no information about that, so I don't have any comment about it.
Ada lagi dari sisi kanan? Ayo.
Sean Carroll, freelance. Just a question for the coach and the player, if possible. Japan didn't qualify for the World Cup for the first time until the number of participants increased in 1998, and now they're established, as you said, as probably the best team in Asia. Now Indonesia is really improving too, and the number of participants has raised again for this World Cup, so your chances of being on that stage are growing. To what extent and in what ways do you think you can use Japan's progress over the last few decades as a template for Indonesian football to grow and keep improving? Thank you.
네, 우리 인도네시아 축구는 이제 첫발 딛고 첫 단추를 깨어가면서 좀 발전하고 있다고 보시면 되겠고, 앞으로 인도네시아 축구는 많이 성장할 것이다. 저 개인적으로 감독이지만 저는 우리 인도네시아 축구를 믿고 있고, 이번 3차 월드컵 우리가 월드컵 나가든 못 나가든 따라서 우리 인도네시아 축구 인프라가 달라지겠지만, 지금 이 시점을 계기로 인도네시아 축구는 엄청나게 발전하고 있으니까 아마도 멀지 않아서 인도네시아 축구가 동남아시아가 아니라 아시아권에서도 같이 겨룰 만한 그런 존재가 될 것이다, 저는 믿고 있습니다.
Sepak bola Indonesia kita memang sangat berkembang, dan ini ya langkah pertama, kita bisa bilang seperti itu. Dan untuk kedepannya pasti akan berkembang jauh lebih baik daripada sekarang. Memang coachnya sebagai pelatih kepala Indonesia, tetapi tetap percaya dengan sepak bola Indonesia akan lebih maju. Mau kita lolos ke Piala Dunia atau tidak, infrastruktur sepak bola Indonesia akan berubah jadi lebih baik, dan sedang berkembang juga. Dan nanti suatu hari pastinya sepak bola Indonesia akan bersaing di Asia, bukan lagi di ASEAN.
I think the Indonesian football is just well, we have like first step now, and then we just entered the competitive stage of in Asian football. So we're gonna keep improving, and as a manager, I believe our potential and also the capability as well. Regardless of whether we're gonna just qualify the World Cup or not, from now on, I believe the Indonesian football keep developing and improving. So not only in Southeast Asia, but also in Asian football, competition, the Indonesia will have more and more the competitive edge in upcoming few years.
I agree also with the coach. Of course, you can see the last years. With a lot of new input, we've improved our national team, but I believe this is not the end for us. Hopefully we can do a lot of more things, and we can lay a base for the upcoming generation also, because this is not only a project for the upcoming years, but for a longer period of time. And of course, as you see in Asia, Japan is probably the number one, what I said, in Asia right now. And yeah, I think for us, our staff and our team, just trying to learn from everybody we play against and everybody we can see, and especially in Asia, because yeah, the teams we play against are of course really good. And if you look at the ranking, I don't really want to look at the ranking, but if you look at the ranking, we're the lowest right now. But I believe in some time we will not be anymore. So we're trying to aim for that.
Okay, any question? Tengah.
안녕하세요, 간장님. My name is Nia from National Radio Station RRI. I have two questions. One for coach. For the first, as we know, this match tomorrow might be considered as one of the biggest match for Indonesia so far in maybe, let's say, in the last 1 year or maybe 2 years. So as we know, it's the tension or maybe the pressure for players specifically maybe more higher than before. I just want to know, is there any specific message that the coach give to the player to make them stronger, especially as a mentally stronger to face one of the biggest or one of the biggest team in Asia? And the second one for Jay. You are you haven't joined the national team before when Indonesia meet Japan at the Asia Cup latest edition in Qatar. I want to know, is there any one of your teammates or maybe your friends at the national team that you are asking about or discuss about the Japan as a team, or maybe specific player that you will meet or against tomorrow at the match? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Now, of course, everybody, during the Asia Cup, I was already busy with my naturalization together with some other players, and I know also some players in the national team. So, yeah, I was watching the game as well, and you saw they have a lot of quality. And now, looking back to that and looking forward to our next game tomorrow, everybody's saying also, yeah, they have a lot of good players, of course. Everybody from them is a good player. They play at the highest level in a lot of countries. So we know what we're facing, and it's a big challenge, of course, but that doesn't mean we don't have any chance. So we're trying to prepare in the best way possible, like every other game. And what I said before, we're really confident in our own abilities and in our own chance. So let's see tomorrow.
네, 선수들한테 뭐 압박을 주는 것보다 우리가 갖고 있는 거 즐기면서 후회 없는 축구를 하고 왔으면 좋겠다. 우리 선수들이 조금만 더 집중하고 조금만 더 신경 쓰고 하고자 하는 생각이 맞으면 분명히 우리는 좋은 결과를 가져올 것이다. 선수들한테 심리적인 압박보다는 우리 홈에서 우리 국민들 위해서 무엇을 보여줄 수 있는지에 대해서 생각하고 경기를 하게끔 만들고 있다 보시면 되겠습니다.
Selalu Kosen katakan kepada para pemain enjoy, dan apa yang kalian miliki ya tuangkan segala sesuatunya dan bertanding. Jadi daripada memberikan tekanan kepada para pemain, memberikan fokus ya, masih biar fokus pemain kepada pertandingan, dan para pemain kita sedikit lebih fokus dan kemauan dengan kemauan tinggi seperti sekarang dan menjadi satu di dalam pertandingan pasti bisa membawa hasil yang baik. Jadi daripada memberikan tekanan keras atau psikolog, Coach Shin bisa memberikan motivasi kepada para pemain untuk apa yang kita bisa berbuat untuk masyarakat Indonesia yang akan nonton nanti.
I try my best, to make the players not get pressured. Just I said, just enjoy and try to show your capability as much as you can. And if we focus more, and if we do not lose focus until the referee, the match finishes, and also we help each other, probably we're going to have a good result. So I don't want the players to have a big pressure. Just I told the players, let's think about how we're going to show our will and effort, to make the people in Indonesia satisfied, for tomorrow.
Okay, last question.
Cek, oke. Ya, saya Fajar dari MNC, mau bertanya kepada Coach Shin dan Bang Jai. Tadi baru saja selesai pertandingan antara Australia dengan Arab Saudi yang berakhir imbang 0-0. Apakah hasil ini akan memotivasi semangat, memompa semangat timnas Indonesia untuk memaksimalkan hasil pertandingan besok, karena peluang kita untuk lolos 4 besar semakin terbuka lebar dengan hasil pertandingan tadi. Terima kasih.
The match against Australia and Saudi Arabia just been finished. The result was 0-0, and with this result, is it really helpful for Indonesia? And then I want to hear about the coach's opinion about the result from the match against Saudi Arabia and Australia.
네, 호주하고 사우디 경기가 0-0을 비기면서 아마 우리 시조는 일본 빼고는 마지막까지 혼전의 양상이 되지 않을까, 저는 그렇게 생각하고 있고요. 아무래도 뭐 한 팀이 치고 못 나가니까 우리한테는 좋은 것이다. 저는 좋은 기운이 우리한테 지금 흐르고 있다. 좋은 쪽으로 생각하고 있습니다.
Dengan pertandingan Australia dan Saudi 0-0, jadinya grup C ini ya kita terjadi hal yang kita tidak tahu sampai terakhir selain Jepang, karena tidak ada satu tim selain Jepang yang membawa hasilnya yang baik. Itu menjadi hal yang positif bagi Indonesia juga. Coach melihat ini situasi yang baik, dan perasaan Coach pun ya baik sekali terhadap situasi ini.
The result of Australian and Saudi Arabia match with the draw is very actually advantage for us. So except Japan, all the other teams, we are just fighting each other in chaos. Because of this result, except Japan, the other team is not going to just higher place in our table. So I think really just energy and luck is coming to us.
Okay. It's okay. No, I agree also with the coach. And of course, when we played against Australia and Saudi, we had 2 draws, and of course, before the game, if you say, okay, you get 2 points against those teams, and the amount of quality they have, and you also have to understand we just came together as a group. A lot of new players just came into the group, and on the way, we're still trying to figure things out. What's the best way we can work things out? How we do things. So I agree. Also, I think The first 2 points we got against Saudi and Australia were really good. Of course, after that, what I said before, the 2 games were a little bit disappointing. But yeah, we still have 6 games to go. So we're going to do our best and see what happens.
Okay, thank you Coach Shin, thank you Jay, thank you everyone.
Gold, silver, bronze.
Okay. Thank you. Let's go.
Ketua Umum PSSI Erick Thohir melakukan inspeksi di Stadion Utama Gelora Bung Karno Senayan, Jakarta Pusat. Peninjauan dilakukan untuk memastikan kesiapan Gelora Bung Karno. Erick memastikan jika sejumlah persiapan telah dilakukan, mulai dari pengecekan rumput hingga kamera pengawas TRC Stadion. Demi mencegah terjadinya kebocoran tiket, Erick Thohir mengaku telah menambah 103 unit kamera pengawas CCTV dengan identifikasi wajah.
Tadi inspeksi mengenai tadi CCTV kan kita nambah 103 CCTV di mana ada face recognition-nya, jadi nanti Garuda ID plus CCTV kita supaya jaga kebocoran tiket bukan karena komersial, tapi ini karena keselamatan. Dan kita didatangi FIFA, AFC.
Sebelumnya Erick Thohir juga sempat menyapa pemain timnas Indonesia yang tengah berlatih. Erick menyapa para pemain satu persatu dan berbincang bersama mereka sebelum pertandingan melawan Jepang 15 November 2024. Kehadiran Erick untuk memberikan motivasi dan semangat kepada para pemain sebelum bertanding melawan Jepang. Dari Jakarta, Tim Liputan iNews melaporkan.
Menilik secara kekuatan, Indonesia memang tidak begitu diunggulkan melawan Jepang pada laga grup C putaran ketiga kualifikasi Piala Dunia 2026 zona Asia. Namun kiper timnas Indonesia Marten Pas tidak takut melawan nama-nama besar di timnas Jepang.
Kiper timnas Indonesia Marten Pas menyatakan tidak gentar kala skuad Garuda menghadapi Jepang pada laga grup C putaran ketiga kualifikasi Piala Dunia 2026 zona Asia. Pas mengaku tekanan selalu ada apalagi bermain di kandang sendiri di Stadion Utama Gelora Bung Karno. Namun ia memandang tekanan sebagai hal yang positif. Meski begitu, Pas tidak memungkiri timnas Jepang akan menjadi tantangan yang berat bagi Indonesia.
I think very strong opponent, great challenge for us to show our qualities against a top opponent like that. We were already scouting the opponent, and of course they have clear qualities everywhere on the pitch. But I think it's a great opportunity to show us as a country, and then hopefully to give GBK the right energy so we can get a great result.
Pengalaman PAS yang bermain di Liga Amerika Serikat yaitu Major League Soccer bakal dibutuhkan pada laga besar kali ini. PAS juga akan diuji untuk meredam pemain-pemain Jepang yang sebagian besar bermain di Eropa. Namun PAS tidak peduli dengan nama besar pemain-pemain Jepang. Apalagi kiper 26 tahun itu mengaku tidak gugup karena terbiasa melawan pemain-pemain besar di MLS, termasuk Lionel Messi.
No, I'm not really fast nervous. I played against Messi, for example. I was not really nervous. It's just my job. I prepare like I always do. I always get in a good, positive, nervous way from playing in GBK because it's a very special feeling. And then whoever wants to face me can face me. So just trusting in my own abilities.
PAS masih optimistis dengan kiprah timnas Indonesia dalam perjalanan di kualifikasi Piala Dunia 2026 zona Asia. Ia juga bertekad ingin membawa Indonesia lolos ke pesta sepak bola dunia.
Indonesia akan menghadapi Jepang dalam laga grup C, putaran ketiga kualifikasi Piala Dunia 2026 zona Asia. Jika menilik catatan pertemuan, tentu tim Samurai Biru lebih superior. Namun, skuad Garuda optimis bisa memberi kejutan.
Indonesia akan menghadapi Jepang dalam laga grup C putaran ketiga kualifikasi Piala Dunia 2026 zona Asia pada Jumat 15 November di Stadion Utama Gelora Bung Karno, Jakarta. Laga kandang ini akan dimaksimalkan skuad Garuda untuk meraih poin. Saat ini posisi Jay Itzes dan kawan-kawan berada di peringkat kelima klasemen sementara grup C dengan 3 poin. Hasil ini didapat usai meraih 4 hasil imbang pada putaran kualifikasi kali ini. Terakhir Indonesia meraih poin penuh justru terjadi pada laga terakhir putaran kedua kualifikasi Piala Dunia 2026 zona Asia. Tetapi ini masih bisa diperbaiki mengingat masih ada beberapa pertandingan dalam putaran ketiga yang digelar hingga tahun 2025. Secara khusus laga melawan Jepang akan menjadi pertarungan yang sangat menarik. Di atas kertas Jepang memang lebih superior dari Indonesia. Faktanya, Jepang merupakan satu di antara tim raksasa di kancah sepak bola Asia dan tim langganan Piala Dunia. Jepang menunjukkan superioritasnya dengan meraih 4 kemenangan dari 5 laga terakhir. Dan dalam 4 laga di putaran ketiga kualifikasi Piala Dunia 2026 zona Asia, Jepang mencatat 1 kali menang dan 1 kali imbang yang membuat Takumi Minamino dan kawan-kawan memuncaki klasemen sementara grup C dengan 10 poin. Jika menilik catatan pertemuan kedua tim, Indonesia terakhir kali menang atas Jepang pada 24 Februari 1981. Sisanya Jepang selalu mendominasi atas Indonesia. Meski begitu, peluang Indonesia untuk membuat kejutan dengan mengalahkan Jepang yang saat ini dianggap lebih kuat tentu tetap terbuka. Pasalnya apapun bisa terjadi dalam sebuah pertandingan sepak bola.
Demikian breaking news kali ini. Anda bisa menyaksikan program selanjutnya yaitu iNewsroom bersama rekan Davi Pratama. Saya Diandra Mukni pamit undur diri. Terima kasih dan sampai jumpa.